My family laughed when Grandpa left me a yellow envelope with one phone number inside. No check, no house, no company shares. Just 10 digits. My sister laughed so hard she grabbed my mother's arm. My uncle raised his coffee and said, "At least she got paper." My mother leaned close and whispered, "Maybe it's a counselor. You need one." Then I called the number. A man answered and said, "Miss Westbrook, your grandfather left you the company." Not a piece of it. Not a percentage. All of it. $38 million. dollars. And the people laughing in that room? They had just spent the last hour celebrating the fake inheritance. Welcome back to Valora Stories. My name is Thea Westbrook. I'm 28 years old. And this is how one yellow envelope turned my family's laughter into the most expensive silence of their lives. The call about Grandpa came at 6:14 in the morning. I was lacing my boots for the early shift at Birch and Stone, the furniture shop I managed in Holden, Ohio. My phone lit up. "Mom, Diane Westbrook never called before 9 unless somebody was dead. Or she needed money. That morning, it was both. Your grandfather passed last night," she said. No tears, no tremble. "The will reading is tomorrow at 2. Harmon and Pace, Newark, dress presentable." Then she hung up. I sat on the edge of my bed with one boot half tied. Grandpa Harold was 82. He built Westbrook Properties from one broken duplex in 1981 into a real estate company worth more than most people in our town could imagine. But to me, he was never the rich man. He was the man with sawdust in his shirt pocket. The man who taught me to sand walnut until it felt like water. The man who said, "A good chair tells the truth. If it's weak, it breaks. People should be more like chairs." Every Sunday, I went to his workshop. Every Sunday, nobody else did. Not my mother, not my sister Nora, not Uncle Victor, who called himself the company's future before Grandpa was even dead. Just me, the dropout, the girl who sold chairs, the family joke with a key to the workshop. The next day, the parking lot at Harmon and Pace looked like a luxury car ad. Nora's Lexus, Victor's Cadillac Escalade, my mother's Uber because she had quietly sold her car 6 months earlier. People with money problems always dress like they don't have money problems. Inside the waiting room, Nora was whispering to her husband Grant. "At least $4 million in accounts," she said. "Plus the properties." Victor stood near the water cooler, already acting like CEO. When he saw me, he smiled like I was a stain on the carpet. "You came?" Nora looked me up and down. "That's sweet. Maybe Grandpa left you a coupon." Nobody laughed loudly. They didn't have to. Their faces did it for them. Roger Harmon opened the conference room door. "The Westbrook family. We're ready." We sat around a long, oval table. Grandpa's lawyer opened the will. Victor got the Lake Erie vacation house and $800,000. He nodded like a king accepting a village. My mother got the Columbus apartment and $600,000. Her shoulders dropped with relief. Nora and Grant got $500,000 and Grandpa's investment portfolio. Nora started typing into her phone immediately, probably already spending it. Cousins got education trusts, small gifts, clean, predictable. Then Roger Harmon turned one final page. "And to Thea Marie Westbrook." The room shifted. Every head turned. My mother's mouth curved. Nora actually leaned forward. Roger slid a yellowed envelope across the table. One sealed envelope, to be opened only by the named recipient. That was it. An envelope. No check. No deed. No key. Just old paper with my name written in Grandpa's hand. I opened it. Inside was one phone number, 10 digits. Under it, one line. "Call when you're ready. HW." For 3 seconds, nobody moved. Then Nora laughed. Not a little laugh. A sharp, ugly one. "Oh my God," she said. "He left her tech support." My mother covered her mouth, but her shoulders shook. Victor lifted his coffee like a toast. At least she got something. The room laughed. Roger Harmon didn't. He just watched me, like he knew the joke was already dead. Outside, in the parking lot, my mother followed me to my Honda Civic. "You see?" she said softly. "Your grandfather knew you couldn't handle real money." Victor put his hand on the roof of my car. "If that number has anything to do with the company, it goes through me. I'm COO. We clear?" I looked at his hand on my car, then at my mother, then at the envelope. I said nothing. That was my specialty. Silence. They thought it meant weakness. It was actually storage. I got into my car, locked the doors. The family group chat buzzed. Nora. Thea got an envelope. Grandpa's final joke. 3 laughing emojis. A heart from my mother. I looked at Grandpa's handwriting. Call when you're ready. So I called. 1 ring, 2, 3. A man answered. Hello, I've been expecting your call. My fingers tightened around the steering wheel. Who is this? My name is Raymond Alcott. Your grandfather appointed me 20 years ago. My breath stopped. Appointed you for what? To protect what he built until the right person picked up the phone. I looked through the windshield. Nora was still laughing inside her Lexus. Victor was already on a call. My mother was fixing her lipstick in a compact mirror. What did my grandfather leave me? I asked. Raymond Alcott went quiet for half a second. Then he said, Miss Westbrook, your grandfather placed Westbrook Properties in an irrevocable trust in 2005. I didn't understand half the words. Then he finished. You are the sole beneficiary. My mouth went dry. The company? Yes. All of it? Yes. How much? Current estimated value is approximately $38 million. I didn't cry. Not then. I just stared at the people who had laughed at my envelope. Raymond said, Your grandfather also left instructions. If you never called that number, the trust transferred permanently to charity. So if I threw it away, your family would never know what they lost. I closed my eyes. Grandpa hadn't left me paper. He had left me a door, and everyone who mocked it had just watched me open it. That night, my mother held a memorial dinner at Grandpa's house. The Westbrook way of grieving. Open the expensive wine. Divide the furniture. Pretend tears are tradition. Victor sat in Grandpa's chair at the head of the table. Didn't ask, didn't hesitate. I'll take over operations Monday, he said. Dad would have wanted continuity. Nobody challenged him. Nora was busy calculating how far 500,000 would stretch. Grant had his laptop open at the dinner table. My mother lifted her glass. To Harold, she said, and to the family he provided for. They drank. I didn't. Then my mother smiled at me. Thea, show everyone your envelope. A cousin laughed. Victor leaned back. Maybe we should all call the number, see if Grandpa left us a voicemail. I folded my napkin. Slowly. I already called it. The room went quiet. Just enough. Nora's eyes narrowed. And I looked at her. Wrong number. The room relaxed. Victor laughed. My mother shook her head like I had embarrassed myself again. I let them believe it. Because Grandpa had taught me something in the workshop. Never pull a nail until you know what it's holding. The next morning, I drove to Columbus. Raymond Alcott's office was on the 3rd floor of an old limestone building. No glass tower, no gold letters, just a brass nameplate and a receptionist who said, Miss Westbrook, Mr. Alcott is expecting you. Raymond was in his late 60s. Silver hair, charcoal vest, eyes like he had read every lie in the room before anyone spoke it. Behind him was a framed photo. Grandpa Harold, younger, standing beside Raymond in front of a half-built duplex. Raymond saw me looking. 1993, he said. Your grandfather built the walls. I built the paperwork. He opened a leather binder. The trust owns 100% of Westbrook Properties, LLC, operating company, development contracts, investment accounts, real estate holdings. You accepted the call, so now you have 30 days to accept or decline the role. Role? Sole beneficiary and controlling owner. I laughed once. Not because it was funny, because my body didn't know what else to do. I manage a furniture store. Your grandfather knew that. I didn't finish college. He knew that too. Then why me? Raymond removed his glasses. Because when Harold had his stroke, everyone else sent flowers. You showed up every morning. I looked down. I was 19 when Grandpa had that stroke. Left side weak, speech slurred. Doctor said he needed help daily. My mother said he had a nurse. Victor said he was slammed at work. Nora didn't come home for 3 weeks. I dropped my semester at Ohio State, drove 40 minutes every morning, sorted his pills, read him the newspaper, walked him around the property when he cursed at me for making him exercise. 4 months later, he recovered. My scholarship didn't. My family called me a dropout. Grandpa called me steady. Raymond slid another folder toward me. There's something else. What? Your Uncle Victor submitted over $200,000 in inflated expense reports in the last 6 months. My stomach turned. Grandpa knew? He flagged it before he passed. Then Raymond turned his laptop toward me. A video call opened. A woman appeared. Silver hair, sharp eyes, no smile. Thea, Raymond said, this is Maggie Donnelly, acting CEO of Westbrook Properties. Maggie studied me. So you're Harold's girl, I guess? I don't care if you have an MBA, she said. I care if you're honest. Harold said you were. I swallowed. If I accept, what happens? I train you for 12 months. You learn operations, projects, contracts, payroll, risk. You trust the people Harold hired. You fire the ones stealing. You ask questions before signing anything. She paused. And you don't let Victor near the CEO office. I already changed the locks. For the first time that week, I almost smiled. Raymond said, if you do not accept, Victor could petition for temporary management authority. Maggie leaned toward the camera. And if Victor takes control, the company will bleed in 6 months. I looked at Grandpa's photo on the wall, then the binder, then the pen. I need one night. Raymond nodded. That is exactly what Harold said you would say. That night, the family group chat turned into a courtroom without a judge. Victor. Any trust can be challenged. Dad was old. Stroke history. We have a case. Nora. If Grandpa left anything company related to Thea, it should be divided. Cousin Matt. Family money should stay family money. Then my mother texted privately. Sweetheart, don't let people use you. You don't have money for a real lawyer. You'll lose whatever little thing Grandpa left you. Let Victor handle it. Whatever little thing. I looked around my apartment. The radiator clicking, the dry cleaner humming below, the yellow envelope on my kitchen table. Then I texted Raymond. I'll sign tomorrow. Friday morning, I signed every page. Beneficiary acceptance, control transfer, fiduciary acknowledgement. My hand didn't shake. Raymond slid one final envelope across the desk. Harold left this for after you accepted. I opened it. The paper smelled faintly like sawdust. Thea, I watched this family for a long time. I love them all, but I know who builds and who burns through. You were the only one who came when I fell and never asked what I would leave you. Everyone else showed up for Thanksgiving. You showed up in January. I am not giving you money. I am giving you responsibility. That is the only inheritance worth having. Take care of what I built. And take care of yourself first. Harold. I folded the letter, held it against my chest. Then I looked at Raymond. Call the family. He nodded. When? Tomorrow. 2 o'clock. Grandpa's living room. Raymond's mouth twitched. Harold would have liked that. Saturday at 1:45. Grandpa's house was full. Victor took Grandpa's chair again. Nora and Grant sat on the couch with a legal pad. My mother sat near the window, jaw tight. Aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone waiting to watch me surrender. Victor whispered to my mother, not quietly enough. She'll cry, then she'll hand it over. At exactly 2, I walked in. Raymond Alcott walked behind me. The room changed instantly. Victor sat up. Nora's face tightened. My mother stared at Raymond like a ghost had followed me home. Victor pointed. Who is this? My attorney. That was the first time I had ever said those words in that house. Raymond set his briefcase on Grandpa's coffee table, opened it, pulled out a stack of documents. Good afternoon, he said. This will not take long. Victor stood. I don't know what game she's playing, but Raymond looked at him. Sit down, Mr. Westbrook. Victor sat. Not because Raymond shouted, because he didn't. Raymond began. In 2005, Harold James Westbrook established an irrevocable trust. This trust is separate from the will read earlier this week. It does not pass through probate. It is not part of the estate. It cannot be dissolved by family vote. Nora's pen stopped moving. Victor's face changed. Raymond continued. The trust owns 100% of Westbrook Properties, LLC. Current estimated value, approximately $38 million. A cousin gasped. My mother's hand went to her throat. The sole beneficiary, Raymond said, is Thea Marie Westbrook. Silence. Not quiet. Silence. The kind that enters a room and locks the door. Victor stood so fast, Grandpa's chair scraped the floor. No. Raymond didn't blink. Yes. She sells furniture. She manages a furniture business. She has no degree. Neither did Harold when he bought his first duplex. Nora stood next. This is insane. Grandpa was old. He had a stroke. We'll challenge capacity. Raymond placed 3 folders on the table. Independent capacity evaluations, 2005, 2015, and 2023. All notarized. All clear. Nora didn't touch them. Victor's voice cracked. I ran that company for 10 years. Raymond opened another folder. You also submitted $217,000 in inflated expense reports. Victor went still. Maggie Donnelly would later call that moment the sound of a man swallowing his own lawsuit. My mother turned to me. Thea, you can't do this to your own family. I looked at her. You laughed when Grandpa left me the envelope. Her eyes filled. You told me he gave it to me because I couldn't handle real money. Thea, you told everyone I was selling chairs like it was a disease. No one moved. I stepped closer. Do not talk to me about family after you laughed at the only person in this room Grandpa actually trusted. Grant leaned toward Nora. We should go. She snapped. No, we fight this. Grant closed his legal pad. There's a no contest clause. If we challenge, our inheritance under the will gets frozen for years. Nora looked at him, then at me, then at the floor. For the first time in my life, my sister had nothing sharp to say. Victor left first. No door slam. No threat. Just a man walking out of a room that no longer belonged to him. Nora and Grant left next. My mother stayed seated, mascara under one eye, hands folded in her lap. Raymond packed his briefcase. If anyone wishes to review the legal documents, my office is open during business hours. I advise against litigation. Harold anticipated every angle. Then he left. The house slowly emptied. Aunts, cousins, people who had laughed at my envelope now avoiding my eyes like I had become expensive to look at. Only Aunt Lillian stopped beside me. She worked at the library in Granville. She used to mail me books with no note. She touched my arm. I always wondered why Harold kept that workshop open when nobody visited. Her voice softened. Now I know somebody did. Then she left. My mother finally stood. She smoothed her blouse, walked past me. No apology, no hug. At the door, she stopped. Your grandfather was wrong to do this. I looked at her. No, Mom, he was just early. She left. I stood alone in Grandpa's living room. His chair was empty. The clock ticked. Out back, the workshop waited. And for the first time, I understood. Grandpa didn't leave me $38 million. He left me the room after everyone else walked out. If your family laughed at your envelope, would you still call the number?